Hey, welcome to another Topic Tuesday. This is Dr. Michael McCall. February is now Heart Health Month, and it's a subject that I've been studying for quite some time. One of my biggest educators, teachers, he died in 1967, which was a year after I was born. His name was Royal Lee. That was his actual name. He was a genius, and one of the things he did is he started Standard Process. Along his way to create Standard Process, he was a very kind of a self-educated electronics genius. He had lots of patents that he did. A lot of them were for aviation electronics that are still used today. He did improvements on the governing motor, so he's a very amazing genius. And but he felt at the turn of the century, 1900s, when we started to industrialize food, he felt that the health of the United States would be compromised. So he basically created a farm which grew the most healthiest vegetables that he could, and he created a company called Standard Process. So one of the inventions that he had created was a machine that can measure heart sounds very sensitively. And from that information, he could discern from the shape of the sound wave if the body needed certain nutritional needs. So what he found was that the heart was an amazing organ, not only to pump blood, but also an organ that helped kind of communicated its needs through the body. So it took a while, but finally they took it from analog and now they have it digitized, so I have it on my laptop. And I've run a few of these on patients, but I've run a lot on myself. I've been experimenting to see how sensitive, how is the heart, how does it respond, how resilient it is. So just think this way, if I cut your heart out of your body, which I will not do, but if I did and laid it upon the table, it would beat. And if I keep giving it blood and oxygen, it'll just continue beating. It can actually beat outside the body, it's so strong. If I cut the heart up in little pieces, those pieces would pulsate. So our hearts are tremendously strong, tremendously resilient, but for some reason in the United States, we're finding this ways to just destroy them, which sounds kind of crazy. So we have ways of evaluating hearts. We have, one of the things is we have blood pressure, which is a good sign. We start looking at blood chemistry, so we've got cholesterol, we've got triglycerides. And then we also have EKGs, which measures the electrical conductance of the heart through the body, and we have stress tests, we have imaging, these type of things. But one of the things that we're really missing, in my opinion, is we're not really seeing how efficiently does people's hearts beat, because it beats 100,000 times a day. 2,000 gallons of blood go through it. What we need to see, how well does it beat and in real time. So this machine is wonderful. So I wanted to share something with you. So we're going to do this most amazing thing. We're going to move the camera. Bear with us. And I wanted to show you this sheet. This is one of me. You can tell I did this at 9:15 on the same day. This is 32 minutes later. And I wanted to show you a couple key things of the graph. This graph is great. It could be tighter here, but there's quietness here. A majority of our heart is rest. We have 1/3 beat and 2/3 rest. The heart needs to rest. Isn't that amazing? Our heart rests that long. In between here is showing that we have a very efficient heart, because when the valves start to leak a little bit, this machine will pick up the sound. And right now it's showing that this valve's closing very securely and there's really not much disturbance. Well, the only difference between this graph and this is me, is you can tell right here there's disturbance here, disturbance here, disturbance here. It means my heart isn't beating very efficiently. It's a lot like if I used a vacuum cleaner and it's sucking very well, and all of a sudden when the bag's full, you can hear that sound shift. And it's a lot, this is what we're doing with the heart sound recorder. The only difference between these two graphs was that when I came in this day earlier at 9:15, I had had coffee and I hadn't had my water for the day. So I drank 40 ounces of water and did the heart sound again. And look what that did for my heart. It made it beat efficiently. Does that not tell you how responsive our heart is and how important just giving it what it needs is done? I didn't know that it would do this. And we can see on this graph, this is at 9:15 again, and here I am dehydrated, and here I am drinking water. Do you see how that helps? I think this is a tremendous finding. This is the pulmonomic. This is where my heart is beating, the valve that beats, that basically breaks off where my heart is and my lungs. And here's the aorta, which is the most important one, obviously. So here I am here. So what's happening is my valves aren't fully functioning. They're not closing tightly. And here we go. Just giving myself water has taken that. So one of the things that I want to share with you guys is that
The heart is really resilient. It's very responsive no matter where you are. You may have had a diseased heart, what have you, but your heart has an ability to respond to things very rapidly, and not only that, it can get back on track very easily. So the heart sound recorder, I feel, is the most sensitive way to measure how your heart is doing, but mostly it's a measure of how well is your body doing with nutrition. And it will reflect itself in the sound of a heart, just like it reflects itself in the skin, reflects itself in your energy, your ability to sleep. There's all these reflections of health, and to measure it before it becomes a problem, I think, is paramount in this country. So I have a class on the 20th of this February, right, Jess, right? It's at 7:30. We're going to be talking about all the aspects of health, nutrition, but also we're going to do a heart sound recording on all my patients just to teach you a little bit more about how your body is, how it responds, and these types of things. By no means is this a diagnosis for your heart. It's just giving you an idea of how efficiently is your system. And we'll see if we can make some changes at the meeting. So I really hope to look forward to you. Happy Heart Month. Read my blog. I wrote a story about it. See you soon.